What if you combined the card drafting of a deck builder, the equipment sets of a loot quest, and the hidden personal goals of a role-playing adventure, wrapped up in a compact, competitive-ish board game? That's Journey Adventure Quest, or JAQ for short. This is a game my wife and I picked up at Gen Con this year, and I've really enjoyed. In our first playthrough at the convention, it felt like there was a lot to wrap my head around, but we just played the game again for the first time since the convention, and it made perfect sense. In today's video, I want to break down what I like about Journey Adventure Quest, whether you as a D&D fan may also enjoy it, and also some basic information on how the game is played in case you want to pick it up. JAQ is a competitive or semi-cooperative, even solo, tabletop card game about fantasy heroes growing in power, fighting monsters, building gear and spell combinations, and completing quests. I'll get into the game in more detail shortly, but for the bulk of this video, I actually want to just share what I like best about the game. So the first thing I'll start off with is, whenever you get a new piece of equipment for your hero, you can stack it onto gear of the same kind. So like for example here, we have the Phantom Revenant Katana. And if I had this already and I got something else, say this Lunar Dreambinder, basically what you do is you put the Lunar Dreambinder on top of the Phantom Katana so that the top and the left sides of the card are still showing. And what this does is it actually changes the name of it, number one, which I think is really epic. So your Phantom Revenant Katana now becomes a Phantom Lunar Dreambinder. And then you also put that damage in there as well. So this 2 strength and 1 knowledge of the katana, when you put it on the Dreambinder, it actually becomes 4 strength and 1 knowledge. So what this does for me is it creates this sort of legendary feeling equipment where it's not just like this World of Warcraft style, oh, I just need to upgrade my weapon to get the next big thing. But instead, you're actually putting things on top of each other and you're growing the strength of your equipment that you start with over time. It reminds me of back in my first times playing Dungeons and Dragons, how you'd finally get your +1 longsword and how amazing that felt. But what I like about this is that you can actually do this like the entire game. So if you start out with the katana, you upgrade it to the Lunar Dreambinder, fumbling with cards, and then you put the Angelic Ancient Justice on it, it becomes the Phantom Lunar Angelic Ancient Justice. And you get all of the stats from this left-hand side, and so you're leveling up your equipment organically over time. And you can do this for all of your equipment in the entire game. So that's your weapon, that's your armor, your headpiece, your belt, your gloves, even your spells. It's really cool. And eventually, we even played some games where we had like 8 to 10 of these, so the name of your weapon is just ridiculously long. It takes you like 30 seconds to say it, but the stats that it gives you are absolutely crazy, and it just makes your character feel like you had this very organic, natural progression from, you know, this one weapon to now it's this like 30-second long thing to say, and it's super fun. So similarly, basically monsters are the same way. So every so often in the game, you find a monster, and it's like these big cards, which is I really enjoy. And you notice like the monsters have hit points here at the top, they have knowledge, and then they do a certain amount of damage. So it's just like any, you know, D&D style game where your character has stats, the monsters have stats, you have to beat them. If you beat them, you get some rewards at the bottom here, super cool. And you even get a certain piece of loot that's associated to the monster. So when a monster levels up, you take this one, say it's the Corrosive Blob, and then we're gonna put the Ominous Unicorn on top of it. So you end up having the Corrosive Ominous Unicorn, and so it ends up having these really unique stat points as well. And it, for me, feels a little bit like you are playing in some kind of adventure. You could build a D&D campaign off this, whether you're coming up with this legendary equipment or you're fighting these monsters that have like these really interesting titles. Like this level 3 one that I came up with, the Corrosive Ominous Generous Conflagration. And so it's just a cool way to level up monsters. It's a really neat concept the game employs kind of all around. The last thing I really like about this game is that you really can't lose. You can't die. So your character can take damage. Say that you're building your equipment, you're fighting these monsters, and you notice at the bottom how each of these monsters has like an icon here for damage. And say that you can't block that, you would take that much damage. In a normal role-play game, D&D, you have a certain amount of hit points. So if you take 7 damage and you only have 5 HP left, you're dead. Like, that's it. In Journey Adventure Quest, when you take damage, you get what's called blood tokens with it. And blood tokens aren't the best because at the end of the game, for every blood token you have, you lose points basically. So you can still lose the game because of blood tokens, but your character can't die. And so what was really fun is my wife and I were playing and she had like 18 blood tokens on her character, but because she completed all these other quests and things that she was supposed to do in the game, she actually ended up still winning. So it's kind of fun as like a low-key, low-stakes D&D style game where there's still some consequences for taking damage from monsters, but it's a really fun way to have this feeling of growing your character, battling monsters, but like you can't lose. So here's roughly how the game is played overall, now that we've covered some of my favorite things. First thing is that heroes get an initial hand of 7 cards to draft equipment, spells, and other items. Equipment has a cost to it, either in coins or blood tokens, and you basically just choose what you want for your character. After every 2 rounds of drafting cards for your hero, you face monsters. So everyone who can defeat the monster by overcoming their knowledge and HP gets rewards. Like you can see here, like you would heal a blood token and you get a couple of coins for beating the corrosive blob. And then after the monster is defeated, players return to drafting more equipment and cards to boost their heroes even further. There are 3 total rounds of fighting monsters, and then while all of this is happening, there are personal secret adventures that each player is on. So each hero has some hidden goals that often require high-level spells, powerful equipment, or a certain type or certain colors that go into the equipment. And then finally, there are quests, which are adventures that everyone's on and everyone knows that everyone else is on, that you either compete for to get endgame prizing, or you at least hit certain thresholds to get bonuses. Then at the end of the game, the hero with the most points, which you get from a combination of all of your equipment, monster fights, secret adventure completions, and these quests, it actually wins. To summarize it, the game utilizes a very fun drafting mechanic for gear where you're building combos, guild sets, spells, and equipment that synergize. You have progressive escalation of your very cool equipment and monsters you battle. Players have hidden goals that add a roleplay-like flavor and gives each player a sort of personal story that they're pursuing. And then you have multiple paths to victory through direct confrontations and quests, through your hero's overall power and their equipment, through completing your secret adventures, and more. All of this really adds a level of replayability, strategic variation, and a sense that you're sort of role-playing a character through this board card game. Many D&D fans enjoy storytelling, character growth, equipment, quests, sometimes hidden motivations, and of course battling monsters. I would say that Journey Adventure Quest delivers on all of these. But it's not the same as playing D&D. Obviously, it doesn't have the narrative depth, the roleplay flexibility, and things like dungeon exploration or world building. But if you like D&D and you want a sort of D&D light version that you may be able to play some afternoon for an hour or 2, this really may be a game that you're interested in checking out. So that's it for today, guys. If you've played the game or you get a chance to, let me know your impressions. And otherwise, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you see when we cover more hybrid adventure strategy games amidst our journeys into D&D.